The dictionary defines a test as a process by which quality and efficacy is determined.
Time is growing short. Control is assumed by the launching crew. The chief proof officer is in constant contact with all field stations via telephone. The commandant of the proving ground makes a final check on the preparations for launching. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Rocket away.
A test is also a means in which an item is analyzed or used for demonstration or experimentation.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Start and check engines. Launch and flight. Flight commence.
Finally, a test is a method of evaluating the performance and capabilities of an object or system.
0 AOT, looking good. Down to 1,000. 30 seconds, looking good.
In the scientific and engineering community, testing is synonymous with White Sands Missile Range. And it is here the countdown begins. White Sands is the premier testing range for the Department of Defense. As part of the U.S. Army Test and Evaluation Command, White Sands is charged with ensuring Army weapons and equipment meet performance and safety standards.
In any test, a solid foundation is essential. White Sands provides this in the form of an ideal location, an extensive array of high-quality equipment, and a technically superior workforce. This 2 million acre national test range, located in south-central New Mexico, is designed to fit testers' needs. Occupying an area roughly 40 miles wide east to west and 100 miles long north to south, its headquarters is located between the Tri-City complex of Las Cruces and Alamogordo, New Mexico, and El Paso, Texas. White Sands has a long history of testing. It is here that America's missile and space activity was born. It started on July 9, 1945, when White Sands Proving Ground, as it was then known, was established on what was originally an anti-aircraft firing and target range. The area now occupied by the missile range includes the site of one of the world's most significant tests. On July 16, 1945 at 5:29 a.m. Mountain War Time, the world was ushered into the nuclear age with the detonation of the first atomic device at Trinity Site near Socorro, New Mexico, on what was then known as the Alamogordo bombing range. The 21-kiloton explosion marked the success of the Manhattan Project and its efforts to produce an atomic bomb. Following the end of World War II, the Army began its rocket development program at White Sands. Using captured German rockets and equipment, plus scientists like Dr. Werner von Braun, the range built and fired more than 60 V-2s.
Missile away!
Other U.S.-developed rockets and missiles, such as the WAC Corporal and Viking, were successfully tested at White Sands. These vehicles carried the first scientific experiments for studying the upper atmosphere. This work helped develop new technologies which were used to put a man into space. Early accomplishments at White Sands include the first successful launch of a large two-stage rocket. The first glimpses of Earth from space. The first use of automatic guidance for a rocket. And the first exposure of equipment, plants, and animals to acceleration forces, the effects of zero gravity, and cosmic radiation. From the development of the Tiny Tim booster to testing of the Nike and Redstone programs, White Sands lost no time in exploring and refining this new frontier. For over half a century, White Sands Missile Range has maintained its lead in exploring new technologies. Our record speaks for itself, with about 42,000 missile and rocket firings.
As the nation's major test range used by the Army, Navy, Air Force, NASA, and other government agencies, numerous programs are conducted each year. The Army continues testing systems, such as a free-flight artillery rocket system, known as the Multiple Launch Rocket System, as well as the Patriot Air Defense System, and the Army Tactical Missile System, all used effectively during Operation Desert Storm. Other programs undergoing testing include the line-of-sight anti-tank missile and theater missile defense interceptors, such as the Theater High Altitude Area Defense Missile. These new systems are designed to combat the enemy threat well into the 21st century. The Air Force conducts tests on air-launched tactical and air defense missiles, guided weapons, and system delivery. It also operates the high-speed test track to prove such things as air crew escape and munitions, as well as aerodynamic and electronic countermeasures. The Navy has been part of the missile range since 1946. Weapons system testing, as with the standard surface-to-air missile, is conducted at the USS Desert Ship. The Navy also provides launch support for upper atmospheric sounding rocket programs. For example, the Terrier Black Brant carries scientific payloads on short, suborbital flights to gather solar or stellar data. The White Sands Desert Navy further provides support for commercial rocket launches and ballistic missile defense organization testing. NASA's Space Shuttle program is a missile range customer. The White Sands Space Harbor is maintained by NASA and supported by the range. The Columbia landed there on March 30th, 1982, ending the third shuttle flight. Today, it also serves as a training site for shuttle pilots as they fly practice approaches and simulated landings in a shuttle trainer.
Evaluation is an important part of any test program, and White Sands is known for its assessment capabilities. The range is a unique combination of geography, weather, laboratories, personnel, and sophisticated instrumentation, which make it perfect for modern testing. The types and numbers of tests available to range users are almost limitless. Everything from live firings to simulations to virtual reality can be accomplished. Test programs are individually designed to meet all the user's requirements. About 90% of the Earth's environments can be simulated on range. Everything from ice to sleet to tropical heat and humidity to electromagnetic and nuclear radiation. In addition, White Sands continuously controls the airspace over 4,000 square miles, with another 4,000 available for specific use reaching to infinity. Data is collected using sophisticated optics, radar, and telemetry systems. Much of this instrumentation is developed at White Sands to meet the specific needs of the customer test scenarios. Unique facilities available at White Sands include the aerial cable range in the north-central area of the missile range. This facility has a 3-mile-long Kevlar cable suspended between two mountain peaks, the longest unsupported cable span in the world. The cable serves as a precise path for captive vehicles weighing up to 20,000 pounds, which can be gravity or rocket propelled, accelerated at controlled speeds up to 250 knots and at predetermined altitudes. In the northwest corner of the missile range is the Large Blast Thermal Simulator. The facility conducts experiments to support programs testing the air blast and thermal survivability of equipment. Elsewhere on range, engineers are designing a smart munitions test suite. It is a powerful new generation of instrumentation to safely and effectively collect test data on a multitude of submunitions dispensed in realistic battlefield conditions. Another facility is designed for testing high-energy laser technology. Other permanent facilities include the NASA White Sands Test Facility run by Johnson Space Center in Houston. The White Sands facility plays an important role in the Space Shuttle and Space Station programs. Small rocket engine testing is conducted here, as well as the evaluation of the compatibility of various materials in a space environment. Also at the facility, NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center operates the main and backup tracking and data relay satellite system ground stations. The two stations relay data between ground sites and spacecraft, such as the shuttle in low Earth orbit. In another space-related program, the Air Force Space Command has a satellite surveillance site at the north end of the missile range. Operating at night, this facility is one of 3 sites worldwide designed to keep track of man-made objects orbiting in deep space. White Sands has off-range facilities, including launch and testing sites. The electronic proving ground at Fort Huachuca, Arizona supports developers by testing new electronic systems such as command and control, communication, intelligence, and electronic warfare equipment. Other missile range facilities can be found at Kirtland Air Force Base in Albuquerque and at Fort Wingate, New Mexico. White Sands also has the ability to pack up its numerous capabilities and take them anywhere in the world to meet a tester's needs.
Safety and environmental stewardship are important at White Sands Missile Range. To handle hazardous materials, such as paint and cleaning fluids, White Sands has a Hazardous Materials Center run jointly by the Army and Navy. To protect the future, the system accounts for every container to ensure hazardous items do not end up beside the road or in the landfill. To preserve the past, the range protects hundreds of historical sites. Indian villages, campsites, pictographs, and burial sites remain untouched for future archaeological study. For example, in April 1880, the U.S. Army fought a skirmish with Apache Chief Victorio in Hembrillo Canyon on the range. Historians are studying the site to expand on the single-page account found in the official U.S. Army history. Decades ago, Local ranchers gave up their lands to form the missile range, and efforts have been made to preserve the history of their traditional, hard-working lifestyle. White Sands sponsored a program to collect oral histories, documents, and photos from the ranching families who once lived here. Because of its size and sparse human population, the Missile Range is home to many plants and animals. 60 exotic African oryx were introduced to White Sands in 1969, and about 2,000 now roam the range. Although the Missile Range has very little surface water, there is enough in a few salty springs to support the White Sands pupfish. About the size of a paperclip, these rare fish survive in water which often reaches 90 degrees Fahrenheit and is saltier than ocean water. The range actively protects their habitat to ensure they survive. White Sands also works diligently to protect people living around and traveling through the Missile Range. Missile flight safety experts work with all test customers to ensure a safe test. The Missile Range has the technology to make continuous impact predictions during missile flights to ensure a test item stays within the range boundaries. To protect motorists, the Missile Range sets up short safety roadblocks on U.S. Highway 70 and other roads when test scenarios include missiles and targets which cross or fly near the highway. Because of these precautions, the Missile Range has an excellent safety record. Since the 1960s, the range has contracted with its neighbors to the north and west for the temporary use of their lands a few times a year. These agreements give White Sands an extended range for periodic tests and ensure safety.
200. Missing a gear. Saw ramp down. Landing small negative. Engine out.
In testing, things do not always go as planned. However, regardless of the outcome, every test provides valuable information that leads to improvements and new advances. After all, this is what testing is all about.
The final ingredient in the test formula that brings all of the elements together is the total commitment of support to every test. Support of the tester includes logistics and engineering, launch services, recovery, airspace surveillance, communications, and security, to mention a few. The combination of technology, evaluation, safety, and environmental controls adds up to total commitment. And this commitment can only be achieved by a dedicated workforce of highly skilled men and women, be they military, civilian, or contractor employees. It is these people who have made and continue to make White Sands the perfect place for testing. White Sands Missile Range, with its size, infrastructure, configuration, and restricted airspace, is unique unto our planet and remains the premier test range in the world.
If you would like more information on any of the subjects covered in this video, contact the Chief of Test Operations at White Sands Missile Range, New Mexico, at area code 505-678-1959, or visit us on the internet at www.wsmr.army.mil.